loves, thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. Today I have a pretty exciting video. I think I say that with all my videos. I think they're exciting to me, but okay, so I have a video where I will be talking about all of the 2021 book releases that I have been anticipating. I literally am so excited for a lot of the book releases that are going to be happening this year. We have some really good ones, and I kind of separated them from genre to genre so that you guys will be able to kind of view whatever you guys prefer. So on the description part of this video, I will be telling you guys the minutes attached to each genre. So if you guys want to skip over or only listen to a certain part, you guys will have all of that information. I need to stop using my hands, but let's just get to this video. So the first genre that we will be talking about is going to be the mystery and thriller, and we are going to be talking about The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. And of course, just like always, if you guys hear any odd noise, it's probably my dog because he just got his bone and I know he's gonna start being loud. So The Wife Upstairs has already been released. It was released on the 5th of January. So this book is about a character named Jane who is kind of a petty thief, and she's a dog walker in this super rich neighborhood. It's like a gated community. Her life changes when she meets this guy named Eddie, who is like this mysterious millionaire living in that neighborhood. Eddie's wife passed away and Jane pretty much starts dating him. But when she starts dating him, she kind of starts to learn little things about his wife. She becomes afraid of the fact that she'll never meet up to the wife's level of success. Little things start happening that kind of test the relationship. I am intrigued by this book. I love mystery. I always say that I need to read more because I do. I only read like 3 thriller mystery books a year, but I really need to step up my mystery thriller game. So that's going to be my first recommendation. The second recommendation I have is going to be Before She Disappeared by Lisa Gardner, and that is going to be released on the 19th of January. So this story revolves around a girl who has gone missing. This private investigator is going to go ahead and take on this case and kind of figure out what happened to this girl when she went missing from her high school. However, this private investigator is kind of fighting her own demons. She is a recovering alcoholic, and that's definitely going to affect the way that she handles this case. I find this to be super intriguing. Of course, when we go to a private investigator to get some assistance, we normally think that their mindset is at 100%. It's a little bit difficult when someone has their own challenges that can affect their everyday life. So again, this one's super intriguing to me, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Then we have another recommendation, that's going to be The Project by Courtney Summers, and this one's going to be released on the 2nd of February. So on this one, we have the character Lo, who is trying to prove that her sister pretty much joined a cult. Now that alone is super intriguing. I love learning stuff about cults. I know it's not supposed to be intriguing. I don't know, you know, people find them weird when I tell people like, oh, that's a super interesting topic. They're always like, no. But so in this story, Lo is trying to pretty much prove that her sister joined one, and the cult leader is kind of testing her. He's supposed to be this very charismatic guy who ends up telling her that if she can prove that they are a cult, he will go ahead and admit to it. But if she cannot prove that, then she has to leave them alone. I mean, if your sister's joining a cult, you're gonna try to do everything you can to get her to make her get away from that. So again, it seems like a super interesting story, and it's gonna be on my TBR. So my last thriller and mystery recommendation is gonna be Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This book will be released on June 29, 2021. This book revolves around a character who's driving back home to Ohio. She kind of has to get a ride with a couple of different people from school, and she suspects that the driver of this car is a serial killer. I mean, this seems like this would be down my alley. I love these types. I mean, I wouldn't say love. I don't think that's the right term. I need to stop saying love. But I find it really intriguing. I mean, that's everyone's worst nightmare. If you're literally on the way to a different state or a different city, and you're in the car with this person and you think that they're a killer. I mean, scary stuff. But again, that's going to be my other recommendation. Then my next genre is going to be young adult fiction. So I do only have 2 book recommendations for this genre. So I don't really read a lot of young adult anymore, mainly because I'm not a young adult anymore. I do just want to put that out there in case any of you are a little bit younger or like young adult. There's nothing wrong with that. But my first recommendation is gonna be Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado. And this is gonna be released on the 2nd of February. So this story revolves around a character who is named Charlie Vega. Charlie is supposed to be this very witty, smart, funny character, but she struggles with being overweight. To the main character, the weight is not that much of a problem until the mom and the other people in her life start pointing it out. She lives in a white neighborhood where she feels like she does not fit in. So the fact that she now has, you know, a weight problem and the mom is pointing it out is it's gonna affect the way she feels in everyday life. I always find it really odd when parents kind of point out their kids' weight. If it's unhealthy, I guess it's one thing, but there's a specific way that you should go about it. But if it's just someone that, if you're looking at your own kid through judgmental eyes, I just find that to be so disgusting. So I'm really interested in this story and I just kind of want to see where it goes. And yeah. Then the next young adult recommendation is going to be Can't Take That Away by Salvatore, and that's going to be released on March 9th. Now, this story does revolve around a transgender character who got the lead role in their high school musical. Not like movie, but their high school's musical. And in this character story, we find them kind of fighting against the discrimination that they're getting in school. And I love LGBTQ stories, and I feel like I don't show them enough recognition. And in this one, I do have 2 stories that fall under, well, in this video, I have 2 stories that will fall under that LGBTQ category. So the first one being this one, and I'm actually really looking forward to reading the story. I found the summary to be really cute but also meaningful, so yeah. Now I only have 1 book that will fall under this category, and that is going to be suspense and literary fiction. And that book is going to be The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. If I said that name wrong, like Dalila or Dalila, I could not find a pronunciation to it, so I do apologize. Now, this story does revolve around 2 black girls that are meeting while they're working in publishing. It is being described as a mixture of Get Out and The Devil Wears Prada. So that itself, I found it to be super intriguing. I love both of those movies. So super excited for this one. Sorry, I also did not state that that one is going to come out on June 2021. It does not have a specific date. Then we have the next category for book recommendation, and that is going to be historical fiction. I love me some historical fiction. I feel like, again, I do not recommend it enough, but some of my favorite books are historical fiction, so let's get down to it. The first book recommendation in this category is gonna be Our Darkest Night by Jennifer Robson. Sorry, someone's like beeping outside. I don't know what's going on. So this book revolves around a Jewish woman living in Italy. She's kind of risking her life by being there, so she has to pretend that she's married to an Italian farmer. And this book is set during World War II. And pretty much she has to pretend that she's married to him and kind of make everybody believe them, even though the neighbors are not falling for it. I mean, it's historical fiction. I keep forgetting to give you guys the dates. That's going to be released on the 5th of January, so it has already been released by the time that this video goes up. It's probably going to be the book that I'm looking forward to the most. It already came out. It came out on the 5th of January as well. I have not received my copy, but I am super excited for this book recommendation, and that is going to be The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. So this book has to do with slaves in the southern plantations who get introduced to Christianity. These two men discover through Christianity that their love is considered a sin. And through this, they do get tested, and obviously they're gonna go through some tribulations. And I mean, you guys, does that itself is mind-blowing. But again, this is another one that falls under the LGBTQ category, and this is probably the one that I am looking forward to the most this year, and I'm so excited to read it. I cannot wait till I get my copy. Then we have The Last Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This is coming out on March 2nd, 2021. This one has to do with a woman in Boston who provides poison to women who have been abused by men. Most of them are abused by their husbands, so the woman provides poison to these women so that they can poison their husbands. However, it is during this time that the main character befriends a 12-year-old girl, and her life changes forever. During their friendship, they make some decisions that are going to affect years and years to come. I mean, girl is poisoning husbands. Again, super interesting. I'm looking forward to that book as well. Then we have another historical recommendation, and that's going to be Hair of the Witch by Chris Bohjalian. And this book is being released on April 20, 2021. And this book revolves around a character who is being abused by her husband and has to plan an escape. However, it is also it is right before the witch trials of like Salem, where this woman is trying to leave her husband, but she also does not want to fall under pretty much a category of the witch. So she's trying to leave without being executed for being a witch, even though she's not. Again, another book recommendation. I'm telling you guys, this year has so many good books. Let's talk about my girl Taylor Jenkins Reid. She is coming out with a new book. It's called Malibu Rising. That's going to be coming out on June 1st, 2021. And let me tell you guys something. I love me some Taylor. She is so good, and she makes some of my favorite stories. I might make a video where I talk about all of her books because she deserves it. And another thing that I love about her is that she can kind of dab into different types of topics. So I mean, historical fiction can kind of be her thing. I really like that she's leaning towards that. Let's get into her book. So this story revolves around 4 siblings, and they pretty much end up throwing a party that brings out secrets that are going to change their life forever. This book is set in 1983, and it is written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So what else do you need to know? That itself shows me that it's going to be a great book, and I'm telling you guys, she does not disappoint. She writes some of the best books ever. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo ended up being one of my favorite books to ever be written. But anyways, I already know this is going to be a great book. So okay, so moving on to the next book recommendation. That is going to be An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahiri Mafi. This has to do with an American Muslim girl who is trying to find herself and is trying to help her family overcome a lot of things that they're going through. It does take place at the beginning of the Iraqi war, and obviously you guys know that the Middle East war and everything that happened after, and I guess before that, definitely changed the life of a lot of Muslims. And I feel like I don't know a lot of books written about Muslim characters and Muslim families, and I feel like that's something that definitely needs to be out there. So that's going to be another of my book recommendations. Then we have the last historical fiction book recommendation, and that is going to be Velvet Was the Night by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I love me some Silvia Moreno Garcia. Okay, so This book here has to do with a character who is living in Mexico City in the 1970s, and she is trying to find adventure and love and excitement, and she comes across one of the guys that lives in her neighborhood who is a gangster, or he's in gangs, and he is trying to get out of that lifestyle, and it pretty much has to do with them and their story. Now, I don't normally like when a character falls in love with a gangster or like mafia. Those tend to be like my least favorite stories, just because I find them to be toxic, I guess. But you guys, it's Silvia Moreno Garcia, so I'm really intrigued by what she's gonna do and if she's gonna make us fall in love with this story. So okay, now with the next genre, we only have one book recommendation. This is usually not a genre that I normally read, and I am really surprised that I found this one intriguing, but that is going to be the science fiction genre. The book that I'm going to be recommending is going to be The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. This book is going to be released the 16th of February 2021. In this story, we have the main character, Evelyn, who finds out that her husband is having an affair with her own clone, and this clone is a product of Evelyn's creation. So Evelyn created this clone, and now her husband is having an affair with it. I mean, now that I repeat it out loud, I don't know, I find that to be so funny, but when I was reading, I was like, whoa. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I just want to know what happens. I mean, it kind of reminded me of oh my god, I don't remember what that story is. The Scorpion one, the one where clones are created. But then there's also that episode on Black Mirror where they have clones. Oh my god. Okay, enough. This is why I don't normally dab into science fiction or anything like that. But again, I found this one intriguing, and I do think that I'm going to read it, but let's see how it goes. So in this next genre, we only have one as well. This is going to be the nonfiction. Normally, I don't usually read nonfiction books. It has to be one that really catches my attention. And of course, this one did, because it is by Isabel Allende. You guys, if you guys do not know who Isabel Allende is, you guys need to get on her books. She literally is probably the reason why I started writing, because I found her work to be so intriguing and beautiful. Because I've not ever read the stories of Eva Luna, I mean, I can read that book over, and it's short stories, but I can read it over and over and over, and I feel like it just cleanses my soul. Even though the stories are not supposed to be like, they're not all happy and cute. A lot of them are really rough, and they kind of just get you in your feelings. But regardless, Isabel Allende is a beautiful writer. Her book is called The Soul of a Woman, and it will be released on March 2nd. It pretty much has to do with her work as a woman and the way that feminism has either challenged or helped her in life. Again, it's Isabel Allende. She's an amazing writer. I can't say enough good things about her. Honestly, I love her. Okay, we are almost done. We have 2 more genres to go over, and the next one is going to be contemporary fiction. So the first book in this list is going to be Sparks Like Stars by Nadia Hashimi. In this story, we have an Afghan woman who escaped the communist coup in her country, and we see her go back to her country to try to find out what really happened with the death of her family, and she's trying to find all these answers to help her pretty much move forward and come to terms of everything that happened to her family. I feel like this one kind of falls under historical fiction slash, I guess, contemporary, and I just hope that we learn from these stories. And the next one is going to be How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo Mbwa. This one's going to be released on March 9th, 2021, and this one has to do with a small African village who has been pretty much ruined by an American oil company who's gone to their village and pretty much destroyed all of their farming. In this book, we get to see that this village has nothing else to lose but to fight back. Again, I'm not going to get into that topic, but I'm definitely going to read this book. The next book in my recommendation list is going to be Of Woman in Salt by Gabriela Garcia. In this story, we have a Cuban immigrant story. So in this story, we have a girl named Jeanette, who is a daughter to Cuban immigrant parents. And at the moment, she is battling with addiction. She's trying to get over all of this stuff, so she decides to go back to Cuba and visit her grandmother and learn all about her roots and the way that her family had to overcome the awfulness that happened in Cuba that made a lot of people migrate. Again, I feel like these books need to have recognition for all the work that's being done and explained. So that's going to be another of my recommendations. And we have The 100 Years of Lenny and Margaret by Mary Ann Cronin. And this book is going to be released on June 1st, 2021. And in this book, we have a 17-year-old girl and an 83-year-old woman who are pretty much sick and on the verge of dying. They're spending their last moments in a hospital, and they decide to befriend each other and spend the last couple of months they have doing extravagant and everything that they ever wanted to do. That's such a difficult but beautiful topic. And for the next genre, I only have 2 book recommendations, and that's going to be under the topic of romance. And the first book recommendation is going to be The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. That's going to be released on May 18th, 2021. And you guys, it's Christina Lauren. It's romance. In this story, we get to meet single mom Jess, who ends up getting set up by a DNA matchmaking machine that sets her up with this guy that she ends up detesting. And we pretty much get to see their romance in this book. And again, it's Christina Lauren. You guys will, it's Christina Lauren. Come on, you guys. I mean, how many books have I read of theirs? It's like literally, I think I have 2 whole bookshelves with just their books. So of course I'm going to read this one. And then the last book recommendation is going to be The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. And again, Helen Huang is an amazing writer. I read some of her other books. It's going to be released on August 3rd, 2021. And it has to do with the main character named Anna, who is trying to seduce this wealthy CEO and trying to keep him away from her sister who's engaged, because I guess her sister always gets the men. And Anna and this guy, I forgot his name, but they're pretty much finding out that they are not who they thought they were, and what they have created is not really what they expected. Helen Huang again writes a good, cute, feel-good romance, so I'm really excited for this one. Again, you guys, these are going to be my 2021 book release recommendations. I'm super excited for these. Comment down below if you guys have any more that you guys are looking forward to, and let me know if you guys have any other book recommendations. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.